Humans, this is an adoption campaign, but it's not for me or Mr. Buttons or Frank over there. It's for you, humans. This is a call to humans to adopt our movement, to adopt our cause.
This isn't just about saving one of us.
It's about saving all of us.
Thousands of lives, every single day.
It's about support for every one of us four, and sometimes not four-legged best friends, waiting to meet a best friend of our own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge.
Shelter by shelter, city by city.
We can save thousands of pets each day. Join us. Together we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. Make sure to come out this weekend to the Sylacauga Animal Shelter and help us walk dogs. We'll be there as always from 11 to 1, and we could always use volunteers. We could also, though, use some people who are willing to train to pull dogs from the kennels to take them out to walkers. We've got 4 people that do that, and this summer there's so much going on that there'll be times that we'll be limited with the people who can actually pull dogs from the kennels. So please come out and walk dogs with us, and if it looks interesting to you, we're happy to show you how to pull dogs from those kennels. Most of the dogs are super excited when you come up to them and get them out, and if you want to walk some dogs, they might pull you around the shelter, but there's a lot of great areas around the shelter to walk. But we also have puppies, and we have some dogs that are a little more timid, so if you're not interested in walking a dog that's going to pull you around, then we've got some that are calmer and some that just need somebody to sit with them and socialize. So we've got something for everyone, and we even have cats at the shelter, of course. But if you come out this weekend, come and meet Molly. She's our pet of the week. We talked about Molly last week because it was right before Crazy Days. And this is a picture of her at Crazy Days. So you can see that Molly is a very calm, sweet dog because there was so much going on around her, and she just wanted to kind of hang out and relax the whole time. So she is she will go on walks, and she is a wonderful dog with lots of energy, but you can tell that she will snuggle with you also. We did discover that she's not too excited about kids. She's certainly not, she's just a little scared of kids. So she'd be better in a household with no small children, but she gets along with other dogs. She loves people, and she's about 2 years old, we think. So she is full grown, and she's still pretty small. You can see she's sitting in somebody's lap right there. So come on out to meet Molly, and let's find her a home and get her out of that shelter. And she'll be there this Saturday, so just ask the shelter staff. Now, we also have a spay and neuter voucher event coming up. Now, keep in mind, this is the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill that puts on the voucher sale. So if you have questions, please message us on Facebook or email us at theferaldogsofavondalemil@gmail.com. The shelter is busy, they are full, so don't call the shelter and don't call PetSense, because neither one of them, even though PetSense is wonderful to allow us to have it there, they're not putting on the actual voucher sale, so they will have to direct you to us anyway. So make sure to contact Feral Dogs. We're going to be there June 14th. We're there 9 a.m. and the line is usually well down all the way to TJ Maxx in that area. So we are there, but we don't have, we'll stop when we run out, basically. So it's $30. It's got to be cash or check, and it's good for Alabama Spay and Neuter. We'll give you information about how to utilize those vouchers. And there is a transport that comes down here to Sylacauga. So if you think you can't get up to Irondale to take your animal, then they make it very easy for you. They have a transport that comes down once a month on a Monday, and then they'll bring your dog or cat back on a Tuesday. So if you know anyone that needs to get a voucher, please let them know about our voucher sale and give them that information so they can come out to PetSense on that Saturday, June 14th. And tell your neighbors, tell your friends, share the Facebook post when you see them. We want to get the word out there because we've got those vouchers available, and we really want to do our best to try to keep the population of dogs and cats that need homes in this area down. Now, we're going to go ahead and get to my special guest. I have Allie Odom here today. Allie is actually our intern at Broadway Spinal Care. She'll be a senior at Sylacauga High School next year. And we've got lots to talk about today. Allie?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Thank you for getting up so early this morning when you didn't have to get up for school to come and talk to me. So one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because Allie is a part of the Sylacauga High School fishing team. And you have all kinds of exciting things that happen with fishing.
Oh yeah, we had a lot.
So how many people are on the fishing team from Sylacauga?
Well, we just had 2 graduate, so that means there's two senior boats
Okay.
and 1 junior boat as of right now.
Okay.
But we will have our interest meeting in August.
Okay.
And that may or may not get us another boat.
Okay.
We're not 100% sure yet.
Now here's a picture of you at one of the, is that a recent tournament?
That is our state tournament.
And now do you have, is that your partner? Do you have a partner
Yes.
that you fish with?
That is my partner, yes
Okay.
ma'am.
And who is that?
That is Raylan Allen. She goes to Sylacauga and she'll be a senior as well.
Okay. So you'll partner with her again this year.
Yes ma'am.
Now tell me about the tournaments. How often do you have them? Where do you typically have tournaments?
Sometimes we can have them like a month apart, and we had one 2 weekends apart
Okay.
one time. We have them we fish this trail called ASA BFA, and it just picks out random lakes throughout Alabama. We'll fish the Coosa chain, Tallapoosa or Tallahassee chain.
Okay.
I can't remember. And then Tennessee River. We'll fish
Okay.
all of those. And
So sometimes you have a bit of a drive to get to some of these tournaments.
yes, ma'am. I know last year, not this past May, but well, we're in May, but not this May, but last May,
Okay.
we were at Wheeler, and it was a far drive, and it was
Okay.
not a fun tournament.
Not. So there you are out. Is that at a tournament? Or is that just out
No.
fishing and having fun?
So funny story, we were pre-fishing, and I was pulling out a backlash because my reel was, I threw it, and it just,
Okay.
I didn't throw it right, and I was pulling it out, and it fell off the roof of a dock.
Okay.
And I was about halfway done, and I felt it pulling. And I said, oh my gosh, I got a fish. And it was a big one, like the biggest fish I've ever caught on pulling out a backlash.
I'm just trying to fix your reel. That's,
It was
it
very
just
funny.
happens that way sometimes.
It does.
I don't understand fish. I don't know the fish understand fish.
Mm-hmm.
But how does a tournament, what happens at a tournament? Like, how does that run? Do you,
So they'll normally set a time that we need to be there by so we can launch off by a certain time. We launch off at safe daylight, right?
okay,
So we have to be there and in the water by safe daylight so we can launch off.
okay.
And they'll launch us off in, I guess you could say flights, but it's like they'll name off every number and they'll throw a peg, and you just go out and fish for about, I guess you could say 8 hours.
Okay.
And then you'll come in, weigh-in starts at 2 for
Okay.
seniors, 1 for juniors.
So you go out and you fish, and then you bring the fish in for them to weigh to determine who wins
Yes,
by
ma'am.
what do they do? The biggest fish or the
poundage.
most fish caught, or
The
just
poundage.
poundage of all the fish that you catch?
Yes, ma'am. Normally
Okay.
the limit's either 3 or 5. If we're on the Coosa, it has to be 3.
Okay.
But if we're on any other lake, it has to be 5.
And then do you release all the fish that you catch in a tournament?
Yes, ma'am.
So if all this sounds interesting to someone, and they're out there and you've got the interest meeting in August, what do they need to do? What do they need to do? What do you have to have in order to be a part of the fishing team?
So you just need a boat. Necessarily, you don't need a partner.
Okay.
You can fish by yourself, but you need someone to captain the boat. I think they have to be 21 years or older
Okay.
to captain the boat, and then you need an observer to help to watch you if you're going to fish by yourself, or you can have a partner, but you can only have 3 people on the boat as far as I know.
Okay. But you do have to have access to your own boat if you're
Yes.
going to be a part of the fishing team.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you fish in all weather? You have tournaments in the
all
winter,
weather.
tournaments in the summer?
All weather. Better pack warm if you're going to go.
So what's your favorite, to be really hot out on a boat or to be cold out on a boat?
I like a good 70 degrees on the boat.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good temperature.
and like the wind's blowing just a little bit, but not too much so it'll mess you up and like carry your lure.
Okay.
It's not fun. But I fished in freezing cold weather, and I fished in the hottest of weather.
Okay.
So,
Now, are there certain fish that you fish for in cold weather versus warm weather, or
we fish
does
for
it
the
matter?
same fish. We
Okay.
fish for spot, smallmouth, and largemouth. That's
Okay.
all we can catch
So
or
it's-
bring in.
So it doesn't. There's nothing that's more active in one time of year versus the other, or
No, ma'am.
okay.
They all kind of have the same spawning pattern.
Yeah. So with the fishing tournaments, or just being out on the lakes fishing or rivers, what are some interesting things that you've seen wildlife-wise?
I've seen a snake, which was I don't do snakes, so it was not my most favorite thing. I think I've seen a deer out there once.
Okay. So generally, you're,
Alligators. I saw a bunch of alligators.
did you? Where were you when you
We
saw
were
the
at
alligators?
Eufaula.
Okay.
I saw, there was one story, I was fishing with an old partner, and we were riding up on by the trolling motor, and the one was sitting on like lily pads and stuff, and the partner saw it, and he was like, oh my gosh, and then whipped us around so fast, and we got out of there. And then this past year, me and my dad were up there pre-fishing, and we got in this little cove, and there was 3 alligators in there, and we just kept seeing them pop up and go down.
Yeah. They generally are not going to bother you, but I don't want to mess with an alligator. I'd rather not mess with a snake than an alligator, though. I don't know
I would
why.
rather get on an alligator because I can hold an alligator's mouth shut. But I can
Theoretically, you think you can. You've never done it, but
yeah, hopefully.
hopefully you never have to do it.
I'm praying.
So what got you into fishing?
I've always fished, like just fished my entire life, but a couple years ago I had a friend on the team, and I wanted to be partners with this friend, and it just kind of worked out that way. My dad bought a boat, and
You were able to keep
everything
going?
fell into place.
Now you're going to be heading to Auburn.
Yes, ma'am.
After you got your senior year next year, you're heading to
Yep.
Auburn after that, and hopefully to chiropractic college, so that we can have you at Broadway Spinal Care even longer. So at Auburn they have a fishing team.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what? Tell me about that. Do you
I
know
haven't
much
really-
about it?
I haven't looked into it much, but it's mostly student ran,
Okay.
as far as I know, and they have their interest meetings that I've seen and stuff like that.
So you may be able to fish at Auburn.
I might.
if you choose to do it.
If I choose.
Now, when you go out to your fishing tournaments, is it all high school
Yes, ma'am.
kids that are
Only high
fishing?
school, and
Okay.
we have the junior section, which is 6th grade through 8th grade.
Okay.
But some 7th and 8th graders can fish up to senior level.
Okay.
But a 6th grader absolutely cannot.
Okay. Now, we've also talked, you're not only just on the fishing team, but Allie's also part of the National Honor Society. And Allie, at least the last 2 years that I know of, has chosen the Sylacauga Animal Shelter to support with her community service. And she's donated dog food both times. So the shelter, keep in mind, always is in need of some supplies. So if you go to the shelter Facebook page, you'll be able to see what their needs are. And right now, they're in dire need of paper towels. They need some wet dog food and puppy food. They need some canned cat food. And then they also need some cat litter scoops. So if you would like to donate, you can drop them by there, or you can go on their Amazon wish list and have that sent to them. So they make it as easy as possible to get the donations. And also if you have access to some newspapers, some full-size newspaper or some rolls of paper, they always need that because the shelter, like I said, is full, and they've got some dogs in crates, and they've got a lot of puppies, and they really need those newspapers for some of the young dogs that are in crates, and they need them for the puppies. So anything you can do to help with that would be wonderful. And yeah, we appreciate your support of the shelter.
Absolutely, I love doing it.
Yeah, so we appreciate the community support. Let's talk about your dogs real quick. We got a picture of some. Who
That's
is that?
Ollie. Ollie moved in with us a few months ago, and he's a Labradoodle. He doesn't look like a Labradoodle, though.
I don't know what he looks like, especially in that picture.
Oh, that's a .5. That's one of them weird angle pictures, bless his heart.
How old is Ollie?
Ollie is 4,
Okay.
and this is our little newest addition, Buck. He's my brother's puppy. I mean, he's not that little anymore, but that's still like the best picture we have of him.
And is Buck a lab?
Buck is a lab.
Okay.
He's a chocolate lab. And then there's Floki, that he is a Aussie Doodle,
Okay.
and he is about 4 or 5 as well.
Okay.
Sweet little thing. And my grandmother, funny story about him, will dye him purple.
Purple?
Like
What makes her want to do
completely
that?
Purple. I don't know. If I'm being honest.
Who dyes him purple?
Robbie, my mom's mom.
Okay.
We
But
love
she
to
just
call
does
her-
it at home? Or there's not like a groomer that will dye dogs purple, so she just...
She does it at home.
Okay.
But he'll be completely purple. There's one time he was purple with a green tail and green ears.
Okay.
It's just,
Yeah.
he's very interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Does he enjoy being purple?
Oh yeah,
Does he appear to know that he's purple?
Very much
Sometimes
so.
I wonder because the animals act so interesting after you get them shaved, and I feel like they know these things. So
He acts like he knows these things because we'll take him in public, and oh my gosh,
does he just flaunt around like, look at my purple fur?
he's like, this is me. Look at me.
Well, he is a cute dog, so I think if he wants to be purple, then he could be purple.
Oh yeah, he's a
And
sweetheart.
so-
He's my little buddy.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your stories about fishing and
Absolutely.
showing us all your pups at your house. And thank you for what you've done for the shelter.
Absolutely.
And come on out with us this weekend and walk dogs and come to meet Molly, because we would love to find a home for Molly. So come out, share any post you see about her, tell your friends about her, and let's get her out of that shelter and get her into a home. And we've got several weeks before, don't forget our walking this weekend, 11 to 1, but we got several weeks before our spay and neuter voucher sale. So please spread the word. We want to make sure that we let everyone in the community know. And again, that's for Talladega or Coosa County. And you can come out and get your low-cost spay and neuter voucher. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll have more Daybreak after these messages.